Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are really cracking open something quite radical. It's a guide, really, to understanding yourself, time, consciousness,
Mm.
all based on this powerful core idea. Reality isn't fixed. It actually flows with your awareness.
Yeah, it's a huge concept, and we're diving into it today, hoping to give you, the listener, a kind of shortcut to grasping these ideas. We're looking at excerpts from Consciousness, Grace, and the Birth of the Soul.
And it really asks us to rethink some fundamental things, doesn't it? Like existence itself, guilt, even time.
Absolutely. It turns a lot of common assumptions upside down.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. The foundation, they talk about the state of grace. Now, this isn't like a reward you earn, right?
Not at all. The source defines it as a fundamental condition of existence. It's effortless growth, transparent, joyous acquiescence. That's the phrase they use.
Effortless growth, joyous acquiescence.
Okay. And the crucial part is its permanence. You're born in it, you'll die in it. It cannot be
Mhm.
taken away. It doesn't matter what you believe or what rituals you do.
That phrase, joyous acquiescence, it sounds a bit passive, maybe, like just accepting things.
Hmm. It's easy to read it that way, but it's not really about surrender in a passive sense. Think more like alignment, natural, effortless flow, like a plant growing towards the sun or water finding its path. It's not complacent. It's perfectly aligned with its own nature. You are that fundamentally.
Okay, alignment. But if we're born in it, this state of grace, why doesn't it feel like that all the time? Why all the struggle and suffering?
Well, that's the paradox of human freedom, isn't it? You have this incredible freedom to hold beliefs that essentially blind you to it. You can ignore it, you can actively disbelieve in your own inherent integrity.
So you can't perceive your own uniqueness, even though it's there.
Exactly. You can't perceive the qualities that existence just automatically gives you. Now, you're still affected by grace, your
Right.
body, your cells, they operate within it, but your conscious mind can filter it right out.
And the source points out a difference in how grace manifests, say, in animals versus humans.
Yeah, it does. In animals, grace is described as unconscious, protected. It's supported by instinct, by uh, cellular memory, organ memory. It's just there in their being, their movements.
But for humans, it's different. It has to expand.
Right. It needs to move beyond just the physical tissue, the automatic functions of the body, into the realm of feeling, thought, contemplation, this whole reflective capacity we have.
And that expansion, that's the big turning point for human consciousness.
That's the pivot. And this leads directly to what the sources call the reflective moment.
The reflective moment. Okay. What exactly is that?
It's that ability the self has to use memory right here in the present, to look back at past experiences, evaluate them, and then project potential outcomes into the future. It's how the acting self gets to judge its own actions.
Sounds like the birth of self awareness, maybe even the ego, but also, like you said, the source of incredible freedom.
It is. It's a consequence of this huge freedom consciousness gives us. But it also means we can consciously deny or forget that, that inner joy, that basic integrity of existence.
And this reflective ability is also where guilt comes from.
Precisely. And the material makes a really important distinction here between natural guilt and artificial guilt.
Okay, let's break that down. Natural guilt.
Natural guilt is described as purely preventative. It's like a quick signal, a reminder before you do something potentially harmful. And if you do slip up, if an offense occurs, the only message afterwards is basically don't repeat.
Just don't repeat. No punishment, no atonement.
None. No redemption needed. It's just an internal feedback loop. Quick, pragmatic, a signal. That's it.
But then there's artificial guilt, the kind we're probably more familiar with.
Yes. That's the one we create. The source calls it an often creative, but definitely artificial construct. It comes from misunderstanding things, often basic survival needs, and then building this whole elaborate structure on top of that simple natural signal.
So we take that basic don't do that again and build
Yeah.
like systems of self-punishment and required suffering.
Exactly that. We build these towering edifices of judgment, shame, the need for penance,
Yeah.
all stemming from a misunderstanding of that initial innocent natural guilt. It's a mind-made construct.
Which causes way more problems than the original mistake ever did.
Yeah.
It sounds like we impose these complicated structures onto a reality that's actually much simpler, more graceful.
That's a perfect way to put it. We build these complex, linear internal structures, and that habit, that tendency leads us to misunderstand perhaps the biggest structure of all, time itself.
Okay, so this leads us to another really radical idea in the sources.
Yeah.
The concept that all time is simultaneous.
Yes. From the viewpoint of the larger consciousness, time isn't a line stretching from past to future. Everything is happening now. Past, present, future, they all coexist in this sort of open-ended, ever-present moment.
Wow. Okay, that completely, well, it blows up traditional ideas of karma, doesn't it? Or
Yeah.
divine punishment coming later.
It absolutely does. If time is simultaneous, then concepts like punishment or waiting for redemption become sort of meaningless. The offense and the punishment, if you want to call it that, exist together in that simultaneous now.
So cause and effect, as we experience it, that's not the ultimate reality.
According to this material, no. Cause and effect are fundamental assumptions within our specific reality system. They're incredibly useful for navigating physical life, sure, but they aren't the final word on how existence works.
It's a lot to take in. If everything exists now, all possibilities, all outcomes, what drives effort or
Yeah.
growth, where does free will fit in simultaneous time?
Your free will is what sculpts your experience within that simultaneity. Think of it like all potential pathways exist, but you, your consciousness, chooses which pathway you're currently experiencing, which reality you're focusing into being.
So reincarnation, the idea of living one life after another in a sequence.
That's basically an interpretation. It's the linear conscious mind trying to make sense of a simultaneous reality. Your so called past lives aren't really past, they're concurrent. They're other expressions of a larger consciousness happening now.
Happening now. Okay, so we're not just waiting our turn for the next life. All these selves, past, present, future,
Hmm.
they're all active right now.
Correct. They're simultaneous and open ended, and all these selves together make up what the source calls the greater you or the entity.
The entity. And this isn't some faraway God figure.
Not in the traditional sense, no. It's described as a psychological structure, as real as your physical body structure, but made of consciousness,
Yeah.
composed of all these individual selves.
The source uses an analogy, right,
Uh,
to help clarify this structure because it can sound a bit abstract.
yes, it's quite helpful. Think about your physical body. You have individual cells, right? A group of specialized cells forms an organ, like your liver or heart. That organ has its own kind of intelligence, its function. Well, in the same way, a group of conscious selves, your current self, your simultaneous past and future selves, forms a soul.
Ah, I see. So my current self is like a cell within the soul.
Sort of, yes. You are part of a soul.
Hmm.
And then, taking it further, a group of souls forms what the source calls the existence, or sometimes the oversoul, or simply the entity. It's an architecture.
An architecture of consciousness.
And it's all connected.
Deeply interconnected. Your conscious awareness relies on the perceptions and activities of billions of cells working together, right?
Right. Yeah.
In a similar way, the entity's consciousness relies on your consciousness
Yeah.
and the consciousness of all its other selves. We're fundamental building blocks, but also part of something much larger simultaneously.
So the entity is like the combined consciousness of all the versions of me existing right now. That feels much more accessible than a distant deity, like something we could potentially connect with.
Exactly. And this entity, this soul structure, isn't static. It's described as a creative mental structure, always changing, developing, learning, yet always keeping its core identity. Which brings us right back to that core message.
You create your own reality. This whole structure explains how. Your freedom allows you to take intentions, beliefs, and actually concretize them, experience them physically, evaluate them.
But hang on, if everything is simultaneous, why does it often feel like it takes ages for things to manifest? Like, I want something, but it takes months or years.
The time lag. That's largely down to our perception filter, our linear viewpoint, and the momentum of existing beliefs. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions do have an immediate effect on the underlying reality. But manifesting in the physical world often requires overcoming the inertia of previous patterns and beliefs.
Okay, let's focus on that belief-body connection. The sources really emphasize how our beliefs directly impact our physical health.
Oh, absolutely. It's direct. Your conscious intentions, what you expect, what you fundamentally believe about yourself and your body. These things literally command your cellular activity and health.
So if someone believes deep down, I am a sick person, maybe even thinking it's some kind of karmic payback or something.
Then that core belief acts like an instruction manual for the cells. It will actively impede healing because the organizing principle is sickness. The material is very clear. The first step isn't just treating the symptom, it's changing that specific negative core belief about yourself or your condition.
You have to remove the blueprint for the problem first.
Exactly. The entity, the greater you, needs its physical expression, the soul in flesh, to be vital. Your body isn't just a vehicle. The source calls it your greatest art form, the product of your creativity in this physical dimension.
Wow. Okay, so this connection isn't just theoretical. There's actually a technique described in the source for tapping into this greater energy, right?
Yeah.
The conscious energy transfer technique.
Yes, and this is really the practical application, the key takeaway for harnessing this understanding. The simple act of consciously recognizing your connection to the soul, to the entity or existence, automatically triggers an influx of greater energy and understanding.
It's not something you have to beg for, it's built in.
It's built in, it's accessing your own larger psychological structure.
So, how does someone listening do this? Walk us through it.
Okay, it starts with visualization, a powerful one. You imagine yourself as part of this vast, invisible, conscious universe, not empty space, but teeming with conscious energy. See the stars, the planets, not as just rocks and gas, but as living, conscious cells, full of light and power.
So, feel that connection to the whole, the cosmic scale.
Exactly. Then you visualize that immense cosmic image, all that light, that awareness sort of exploding but imploding into you, condensing right into your own being.
Okay.
And you consciously feel that energy from the existence, from the entity flowing into you, filling your conscious mind. It's a tangible feeling, a transfer of energy and insight.
And once you have that feeling, that connection,
You direct it with intention. You can focus this felt energy toward a specific part of your body that needs healing. Visualize the light and energy restructuring the cells, promoting vitality.
or use it for creating something else.
Yes. Or you can use that same energy to vividly imagine a desired event or situation already happening. You're essentially projecting that realized energy, that potential from the simultaneous now onto your current reality framework. The source is quite insistent if you genuinely follow this, understanding the structure behind it, that this energy is yours, the results can be profound.
That really brings a full circle. That major shift we talked about at the beginning. You're not just this isolated, linear self battling cause and effect through time.
No, you're a unique individual expression and a vital part of this vast simultaneous entity. Like a cell that contains the blueprint of the whole body, you contain the potential of the greater you.
Which leads to this final, really thought provoking idea from the material about consciousness itself.
Right, that consciousness isn't a thing. It's not an object you possess like a brain. It's an attribute, a characteristic of existence, maybe like brightness is a characteristic of light.
That changes everything again, if
Yeah.
it's an attribute.
Then your inner state, your awareness, your desires, they are the initiating force. The process of awareness expanding, of reality forming, it starts with your intention, your focus, even if the full mechanics happen beyond our normal day-to-day perception.
So the final thought for everyone listening isn't about what reality is going to do to you.
Exactly. It's more like, what desire, what intention will you choose to initiate today with your own growing consciousness, knowing that the power, the energy of the greater you is right there, inherent within you, waiting to be directed?